From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio with OU beat writer Joe Masato. The NCAA brackets are out. The Sooners are in as a 9 seed. Joe, they're going to play Ole Miss on Friday, an 8-9 game. What can you tell us about the Rebels? What's to be expected in this matchup?
Really a similar profile to OU. I mean, Ole Miss and OU are one spot apart in the net ratings. Ole Miss is 36th, OU's 37th. Ole Miss had a really good non-conference schedule. Played a couple Big 12 teams in Baylor. They lost to beat Baylor, lost to Iowa State. But you're looking at a team that started off pretty strong, fell apart a little bit down the finish in the middle of conference play, sounds a little like OU, and then lost in the first round of the SEC tournament as OU lost in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. So I think, as one might expect with an 8-9 matchup, you're looking at a 50-50 game. Pretty
much a toss-up, yeah. Well, we know Lon Kruger's history in the NCAA tournament. It's long and it's storied. Kermit Davis, the coach at Ole Miss, he has an interesting track record as well. He hasn't been at Ole Miss very long, but he's no stranger to the NCAA tournament either.
No, not at all. He coached some really good Middle Tennessee State teams the last few years, was there for 16 years. First year at Ole Miss, and he's kind of revitalized that program. They've got a new arena at Ole Miss that's only been there for a couple of years, so I think it's a team that people in the SEC look at as sort of up and coming. But Kermit Davis, Lon Kruger, you've got, two of maybe the most veteran coaches in the field.
Definitely. So what about style? Do you expect the Rebels to look anything like teams that Oklahoma's played already this year? Any sort of idea how they might match up with them?
Yeah, don't know too much comparison-wise, but it's a team that's going to get up and down the floor a little bit. Terrence Davis is Ole Miss's best player. He's a senior guard from Mississippi, averaging 15 points per game. So he's going to be one to watch. I think it's a good matchup for OU in the sense that Ole Miss isn't super big, and if Jamani McNeese is out, that's really going to help the Sooners because they already play small with Christian Doolittle at the 5 and Brady Manick at the 4.
Well, what about Jamani? I mean, I know we're sitting here early in the week. They don't play till late in the week, but he was wearing a boot during the selection show. Is that any sort of indication about where his availability might be?
Yeah, we asked Lon Kruger about it, and he said that he's day-to-day. Obviously, the Sooners are off until Friday, but we're just going to have to wait and see on that. This ankle injury has just been a thing it seems like we've talked about up here throughout the whole season since late November, and then he re-aggravated it in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, hobbled off, had to get some help off the court. At this point, I would be sort of surprised if he plays. If he does play, I can't imagine it'd be more than 5 to 8 minutes a game.
A couple years ago, Sooners made it all the way to the Final Four, but a year ago when they were a question mark, didn't get out of the first round of the NCAA tournament. Was there any talk on Selection Sunday about, yes, they're in, but really the chance to not only be in, but win and maybe survive into the weekend at least?
Yeah, I think Christian James's quote when we talked to him after the announcement was, "We've got to win more than one." Basically, for these seniors, for Shard Odoms, Jamani McNeese, Christian James, this is their last chance, and they've been a part of 3 tournament teams now. And I think they're, sort of tired of hearing about last year and what they did, and want to prove some people wrong with a couple wins or maybe a surprise run.
All right, it starts on Friday, 11:40 Oklahoma time from Columbia, South Carolina. True TV, folks, you've got 4 days to figure out where True TV is on your TV. We'll have all the coverage, though, leading up to Oklahoma, South Carolina, so be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.